Hello, welcome back to the Common Theory, the internet's #1 competitive Pauper Commander podcast. We're joined here with Rohan and me, Kunks. Unfortunately, Gator's not here because he's unfortunately succumbed to the effects of his vampirism from his vampire bite. He'll be back whenever we get around to curing him. It's going to take a while because I'm not that good with a bullwhip at all. I need to talk to a priest about getting some holy water, and my wrist isn't that strong, so I can't throw crosses. So it's going to take a while to get him back, but we'll get him back one of these days.
That makes sense. I did hear, though, he got a call back for a role for a movie.
Oh, which?
Nosferatu 2.
I still need to watch. God, I need to watch that. I've only heard good things about it. From what I can understand, it's like Shape of Water, but with vamp.
Pretty much. The only issue with the sequel is that at its penultimate moment, he does have to say it's Morbin time.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe it becomes a cult classic. I think that's all he can hope for at this moment.
Yeah. So, Ron, how have you been, man?
I've been good, man. Of course, working a lot as usual, but I'm feeling great because my main CDH deck got a big boost in power. You could say that gifts were given.
Oh man, that's an unban that I've been waiting for like literally forever for, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
The weather is warming up in the New York area. We're finally out of winter. Spring has arrived, and my allergies are crazy. That's okay. I'll take the good with the bad because it's beautiful. This is like literally the best time of the year out here before it becomes like. I mean, we have like it's like we have 4 to 5 months of just like brutality, just like brutal cold, and then we have like 4 to 5 months of like oven. You're just like
that's the only problem about living in a city like that, where it's just like
1,000 degrees every day. Like the dog can't walk outside. Your shoes are melting. The car tires are melting. Everything's melting. Sucks. And then it's like the subways are like even somehow worse than it is outside, and it already feels like you're in an oven.
Yeah, because you have all the humidity trapped down there.
It's a sweaty oven filled with people. It's something to behold, really. And it smells like pee and garbage. And then, for 2 months out of the year, 4 weeks now, and then 4 weeks in the fall, it is the absolute best. It's incredible. And, it might be a little rainy sometimes, but when it's not, it's just like absolutely perfect out. Every day's perfect. And, it's nice. I like being outdoors. I do a lot of running, biking and stuff, and it really elevates the spirits. So I'm stoked. This time of the year always makes me feel good. And yeah, it's nice to have some good, interesting, fun Magic updates. And I've been playing a lot of Magic too, which is also good.
Yeah, that's really great.
How are you, man?
Pretty good. The last weekend was Cool Stuff Con in Orlando, which is why I'm like this. And that's this week's sponsor, Vic's Vapo Cool Severe. Yeah, so I have con cred right now, but it was super nice to meet up with a friend of mine that I've known for like 2 years already from just TikTok groups and like Discord. This is super nice running to Magic Kindness. Here's some pictures. Thank you, Izlain. And hanging out with my buddy Edgar, whose tag is... When you go find him on TikTok, he's the Ravnica building guy. But yeah, it was super fun just hanging out with them. So I have a big grievance. Yeah. Whoever the hell scheduled Easter to be the same weekend as WrestleMania and this convention is a jerk. Like, why would you do that? Why would you schedule this holiday?
Actually. That is brutal.
Because if it wasn't for that, I would have been able to actually stay the whole weekend. But I only went up for like a day and then had to come back down at like 4 in the afternoon for a 4-hour drive.
What did you do at the con? Did you play any games? Did you play some Magic?
I only got to play like 1.5 games. I brought the red quiver box filled with PDH decks.
Nice.
Tried to convince some people to play PDH. They're like, no, it's okay. I'm going to play my own deck. I'm like,
well done.
They're like, I came to this convention. I'm going to play my own deck.
It's a tough sell, right? I feel like the bigger Magic focused conventions, people are a little bit more open because they want to explore new formats, and they're there for, it's like they're a little longer, right? They're 3 to 4 days long. So they have plenty of chances to play their own decks, and maybe sometimes they play their own deck to death one day, and then the next day they want to try something new. So it's a better opportunity. So I think it's a tall order if you're just like a 1 or 2 day con.
Yeah, so we'll try again in Atlanta, and in Atlanta, I know there'll be the play PDH people. So
yep,
we'll be good.
Cool.
And then the second game, I had a turn 3 Dargo, and then someone pulled the fire alarm. I was like, cool.
Oh, the actual fire alarm.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So I couldn't even enjoy that game, so I was like, all right, fuck.
Was that also PDH you were playing?
No.
Oh, CDH, okay.
No, it wasn't even CDH. It was just like regular Commander.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dargo and regular Commander?
Yeah, because I just wanted the game to go by quickly, so I was like, all right, I'll just punch someone.
What deck are you playing Dargo in regular Commander? And what level is that deck?
No, it was Gator. It was Gator and Caitlin's Dargo Kedis deck.
Oh, okay. You're just playing a PDH deck in regular Commander.
Yeah,
got it. I feel like that's very brave of you. Has that ever worked for you? Where you're not just locked out of the game because of the removal in regular EDH?
That only ever happens to me whenever I'm playing Gut. Gut has a hard time recovering.
Yeah, the board wipes are just so brutal.
Off of one board wipe, I'm like, all right, cool, I can kind of make it back. When the second one hits, I'm just like, all right, Mr. President, it's time to go.
Yeah.
God, that happened to me in a casual game one time. It was like, all right, I'm going to hit this player with a skeleton. And then the guy next to me, as soon as I'm done passing, says, I'm going to strangle Gut. I'm like, what the hell did you just say? We're playing against fucking Eldrazi, and you're going to strangle Gut? I was like, and he was like, I'm a red player. I don't have to think. I'm like, all right, well, when we died to Eldrazi, you're the reason why. And then we died to Eldrazi.
The last time I tried to play my Dargo Kedis deck in a regular EDH pod, I got Toxic Deluge on turn 4. I'm like, okay, all right.
At least it took 5, so whatever.
I'll bring it. We'll bring him back. And then turn 7 rolls around. I get Sight Grifted. I'm like, I'm out of here. I'm done. Bye.
God, that's brutal.
Yep.
Yeah, but at least your players have good cards. Over here, they're still fairly new, so it's just we don't like Sight Grift because Sight Grift is bad and we can't afford it. In Toxic Deluge, you just still. Oh my god, I've never seen that card in my life. What does it do?
Okay.
It comes in a precon now. What are you guys doing?
I feel like if they're playing at that level, they should definitely explore some PDH. They probably like it.
They should, but they're still. I don't know. They still rather just play their own stuff and they're still in that brewing phase.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool too. That's cool too. Yeah. No shame and no shade on that. Everyone should feel free to play their way.
Speaking of new brews. We got some big news that came on Tuesday.
We did.
Or last week Tuesday by the time everyone's watching this.
Yes. We have the Gavin Rahe graced us, with an article with his presence, with a new Commander banned and restricted announcement from April 22nd, 2025. Not a lot of changes, but some very fun changes.
Not a lot of stuff came off, but I do like...
First, nothing was banned.
Yeah, which is great.
No bans.
Yeah, they said no bans, and I'm happy that there were no bans.
Are you actually happy that there were no bans?
Not really, but I better applaud unbans than bans.
For sure. 100%. All the time. I mean, I agree with you. I do think there are certain cards that can forever remain banned, and we will talk about those.
Yeah, we'll get to them at the end.
I think for the most part, there is, and I think pretty much, I don't know who would just honestly disagree with this, but there is a ton of cards. There's probably at least 30% of the ban list, that is just outdated, right?
Again, just them exploring old cards that can come off the ban list is great. They don't have to rush out the entire unban. They just go slow, section by section.
Yeah, and the Game Changers list, I think, is just, the bracket model aside, that's fine. It's cool. We talked about that. But the Game Changers list edition, I think, is probably the biggest change and the most dope thing that they could have done. And it's such a good way to address, these sort of problematic cards with a true sort of test and learn style of approaching balance. And the format that I think has done that the best in the past is 60 card Pauper, And I feel like they really took a lot from 60 Card Pauper and how 60 Card Pauper manages the format, with the Pauper Rules Committee, right? The PRC, who, like regularly, I think it's like every quarter, I think they review pretty regularly. And I know they talk every day on Discord. Literally every day they're talking about, about the balance and the state of the meta and all of that. They take the data into account. They're also very good players. Like Paige, who's on the Rules Committee, she won straight up, like, that big Pauper tournament in upstate New York a few months ago. It was like 100 and something people, 120 people, straight up just like crushed. That's so dope to see. Like that these are people who really, really care. And it seems like, with this new rules committee for Commander, they've done something very similar. They've really pulled in people who are, one, very knowledgeable, two, who are real players, play the game regularly, and even like CEDH players who are like known community people, like Lewis Stardust, for example, right? Who's like, her partner is comedian, who is one of the greatest CDH players of all time. So they really care, and they're really thinking about like Commander as a holistic thing, and that's so cool to see. And we actually have some changes to that Game Changers list as well.
Yeah, and personally, I love the Game Changer list because I see it more of a, we can't really restrict cards because there's already a 100-card singleton format. But this is the closest thing we have to an actual restricted list. Because like the main definition bracket between, the main definition between bracket 3 and bracket 4 are how many game changes you have. So bracket 3, you can only have 3. Bracket 4, do whatever the hell you want.
So before we get into the unbans, of which there are 5, what cards would you have liked to see banned? And are you surprised that some of those cards were not banned?
So let me just go through. I'm not surprised that anything didn't get banned. Right now, it's still brand new. They just got this brand new card. They don't want to mess it up. After what happened with the previous owner, they don't want to mess it up.
Okay.
So again, I understand them like just testing the waters, making sure that they get everything out correctly, do everything right by the books, how they want to get things set out. So no bans is fine. And them saying that, yeah, we're not going to touch the ban list until next year. I feel kind of a little bit weird and iffy about. That's like a little bit strange.
Honestly stoked about that. I wish they said 6 months. I think that would have been nice.
Yeah, I kind of wish that they would come back towards the end of the year, but whatever. 7 months of no changes.
I'd rather wait longer though than have them change it too often.
Yeah, exactly.
That is worse.
Because before we didn't have like any change for years.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, like this other format, Planeswalker one, hasn't had any changes since like 5 years.
Yeah, forgot that was a thing.
Yeah, so again, no unbans I'm totally cool with. I get it. They want to take it slow, and I totally respect their decision. But for the cards I wish they did ban, Ristic Study, and I believe everyone agrees with that sentiment.
I think that, at least of the tournament CDH players that I know, I would say 90% of them actively want a Ristic Study ban, and I include myself amongst that.
It's just so annoying when you're trying to go for a win. Yeah, it's just super annoying when you're going for a win, but you're so forced to cast cards and your opponents just go, yeah, I'll keep drawing. Oh, I found a way to stop you. Good game.
It just makes every game such an insane slog. It's not fun.
No, and what's actually really funny is that, what's super funny is because we don't have turbo decks anymore playing Defense Grid or like Dovin or Dozen. Ristic just gets to do whatever the hell it wants.
I do think that's changing. I have noticed that a lot of players are now slotting in Defense Grid into their lists. A lot more, like White, I think is very blessed right now because of the number of silences that they have. They just got
the fact that they have another silence is so stupid.
Yeah,
like I don't think we've seen the results with Voice of Victory yet, but
yeah,
so stupid.
I mean, I think Comedian was saying this, that he feels that the Azorius shell right now is actually the strongest shell in CDH, and it's because of those two things. It's literally just two things, right? It's silences, crazy card draw.
Yeah, so that was going to be my other ban that I would want, which I know is a super hot take, and Izlain's probably going to burn my ass for it too. Timna. Just ban Timna. That's going to be a bit of a spicy take, and that's literally just hyper-targeted at
that
CDH.
That is a spicy take.
But
Timna is obviously very, very strong. Timna's
it's already the best colors. Like
strong, but the cards
deceptively strong.
Deceptively strong. I will give you that for sure. But my issues is that it's not inherently broken. It's not like a broken card. You know what I mean? It's not doing unfair Magic things.
But it's in the right colors.
It's just highly.
It has the right effect.
It's the best fair card in CDH, probably, right?
It's not even fair. What are you talking about?
No, it's fair. It's fair Magic. It's not that big. It's a 2/2, right? It draws you cards, but you need other cards already on board, right? And it happens to be in really good colors for the format, but outside of the context, on its own, in a vacuum, it's like mediocre.
Yeah. Again, that's why it's a very weird. That's again for the rest of the Commander sphere. They'll be like, "Why the hell would you ban Timna? That doesn't do anything." And then all the CDH players are just like, "I'm quitting this format now. I can't play Blue Farm." But if you look at the two best decks, it's Timna Crom and Timna Thrasios. Yep. And also, I want to play Dargo Timna, so I'm contributing to the problem.
Timna is really, really strong. I agree. It's really powerful. I do think, though, that if other changes happen in the meta, I feel like people just need to tech better against it. Like, it's just a weird place to be, right? It's like, right now, because of cards like Ristic Study, Mystic Remora, you really just want to be as proactive as possible, right? Because if you're trying to play defensive, you're facing down the Mongol hordes of people with 30 cards in their hand, right? You can't control 3 people with 30 cards in hand with your hand of like, even if you have your own Ristic Study and you also have 30 cards in your hand, you can't do shit against 90 cards. You're not winning that battle. You're not controlling anything, right? Not to say control's totally dead. Some decks can play it, but like you are forced to play so proactively that running cards like board wipes that are extremely detrimental to Timna, no one plays them. No one plays board wipes.
No,
they're horrible in CDH. Like they are worthless cards for the most part. Apart from a few really OP ones like. Toxic Deluge is good, but even TNT.
No, I'll be super happy if you play Toxic Deluge. That means that's less life for your Adnaz that you're probably not even playing anymore.
It's less life for people's Adnazes. It's also a card that's not a counterspell, right? It's not going to stop a win. It's not a silence that's going to protect their win. It's not a combo piece that makes redundancy to help them find their win faster in earlier turns. You want people to be playing Toxic Deluge, and the thing is, if you're a Timna deck, especially if you're in green, what you don't want is everyone to be playing like 6 board wipes. You don't want that.
Yeah.
You definitely don't want that. Because now you're just like, all right, I just do nothing repeatedly. Cool. That's where the format needs to get to. We need to get to a point where playing for like even 3 board wipes in your deck is the norm. And that will immediately fix some of these Timna problems. These like creature heavy decks, even these creature combo decks, with Kinnan and whatnot. Like it will bring all these decks down a peg if people played more control pieces. But it's just like it's a horrible choice when everyone's drawing a billion cards.
Yeah, because like you can't play Swords of Plowshare. Congrats, 2 people just drew a card because you couldn't pay 2 mana.
Hot take. I think Swords is actually one of the better, like one of the better answers right now at the moment. It's like I actually recently cut counterspells out of my deck for Swords to Plowshares.
Like, yeah, it's what we said the last time we were together. Creature combos are just broken.
I cut Dispel for Swords in my Tameshi deck.
Yeah, because like, okay, I'm gonna play Glinthorn Buccaneer.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Counterspells are bad right now. Counterspells are super bad. Once again, playing control is generally bad. You just need enough to not lose the game. That's kind of it. And even then, it's like, is that even enough into all these silences? Yeah.
Yeah, although, to bring it back to PDH really quickly, counterspells and PDH are also pretty bad. Just focus on winning, guys. You'll be fine.
That's true, honestly. I mean, it's interesting to think about PDH in this context, right? It's like, in a way, PDH, if you want to play control in a competitive EDH format, PDH is a better place to try and do that than CDH. I don't think that there are a lot of good control decks, and even good control decks still need to have some kind of proactive way to win. There's no really good prison decks. There's not really any really strong stacks decks. The closest it gets is like if you see Hollow Marauder as a prison deck, then it's probably all that
but Hollow Marauder still loses to really good top decks.
There's a separate issue here with PH that like people need to play more Graveyard Hate. Like it's just like, especially right now in the meta, like it's the same issue that we're seeing in CDH with the board wipes. Like because people are not playing Graveyard Hate, these certain types of decks are, you know, able to sort of run roughshed over a lot of the meta. But the thing is, Graveyard Hate sucks to play because it's the same problems as running board wipes and CDH.
Yeah, it's not proactive enough.
It's not proactive. It's not doing anything for you. It's not helping you win. They are not versatile, really. There's a few. So, like, as Wizards starts printing more versatile Graveyard Hate pieces, I think we're going to see, like, and I hope they do in Pauper, we're going to see more of that. There's that green card, right, that came out recently that was like, exile a card and draw a card. And it does,
return to nature, but with cycle.
Yeah. And you can destroy target enchantment or artifact with it. It's a sweet card. Cards like that, of course, Thraben Charm is like the GOAT, you know, when it comes to this. But like, give us more. I feel like there's in somewhere in our future, there's like a black instant or sorcery that, you know, exiles all the creatures from someone's grave. We already have that, right? We have a card that exiles all the creatures and you gain that much life. But we need a card that does something a little bit more. Maybe there's a mortal spell that's like exile all the creatures from someone's yard or destroy target non-black creature.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we had some sort of like white or blue other copy of Thraben Charm in the Final Fantasy set, and it's just like unit dancing.
I don't think you'd see it in blue. I don't think you'd see Graveyard Hate in blue ever.
No, that doesn't make any sense in blue.
No, but
like the most would be it's like exile all instants and sorceries from target graveyard.
Honestly, that'd be a cool card.
That's like the only color shifted version in blue.
So specific, and it might see play, but it's actually pretty cool. It would actually see play as a sideboard card in like Mono Blue Terror maybe. If it was an instant, like I could see like one blue pip and one colorless instant exile all instants and sorceries from target player's graveyard would probably see play as a sideboard card, as a hate piece.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of cards that don't see play, let's go into the cards that got taken off from the Game Changer list.
Yes, let's do it.
The first one is Trouble in Pairs. According to them, it's not technically good for the format. It's a 4-mana enchantment that costs 2 white that says if you're an opponent would take an extra turn, that player skips it instead. And then whenever an opponent attacks you with 2 or more creatures, draws their second card each turn or casts their second spell each turn, you draw a card. That sounds very powerful, but in lower power level tables, that doesn't happen often enough.
It's a weird one, right? It's like in higher power tables is when it really shines, but it's also too expensive to play in higher power tables. The CMC is too high. Like you're not. It's a setup card, right? It's like it's an advantage engine, but you want that on like turn 2 or turn 3 at like the latest, so it can draw you cards like for like turns, you know, set up for turns like 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, so you already need to have Soul Ring plus another white source.
Right, but if you're playing it on like curve on turn 4, it's like too little too late.
Yeah, it's already not doing anything. Like I remember Monologue Tax coming out in, was it Commander 2021? It's a very similar card that says whenever an opponent plays their second spell each turn, you get a treasure. Garbage card. Same exact problem. And that was like a mana cheaper, and it was like, yeah, no one's gonna play. Like people could just not play into it. Like just think, how often does your Lotho trigger? Not often enough.
Not. I mean, okay. I don't know about that. I feel like in CDH Lotho triggers pretty often.
And then moving on to the next card that came off the list, Trinisphere. It's a 3-mana enchantment that makes everything cost at least 3. So Swords to Plowshare, add 2 extra mana. Funny enough, it's the same problem. It just gets better at higher power tables. And then progressively gets worse the lower you go because everything's already expensive. I
would dare say it's only good in CDH. And even then, it never sees play.
It doesn't.
It's literally only good in that format. I mean, it's a format that's full of 1-drops, right? For the most part, it's like 1 and 2 drops at the high end.
Yeah.
When's the last time you saw Trinisphere? I mean, what deck even wants... Like, even Magda, that's playing like kind of like a prison deck, doesn't want it because it's like all 1-drop dwarves.
Still
Only in like
play
a
it.
real hardcore stacks deck in like some kind of like Tevesh red deck or something.
I wouldn't even want to play it in like Tavish Frog, so
Maybe not Rog, but like Tevesh Jessica or something.
I don't even know.
I don't know. It's whatever that deck is, it's bad. I don't even think it sees play in like Elevere, which is probably the best stacks deck right now. I don't think it sees play. It definitely doesn't see play in Winota.
No, rest in
So,
peace,
like,
Winota.
Where is this card good?
Nowhere. That's kind of why I'm like happy it got off the game changer list. It didn't really belong there.
But you know what? I would love to see a deck. Like, it's a card that I wish more decks played. Not that I wish more decks played, but I wish that there was a viable deck for it. Like a home for it. Because I feel like if a deck like that became meta in CDH, it would be one of the things that would help, against this mid-range hell that we're in. But there's just no shell for it. There's no commander that really makes it work well.
Although for Trinity, you could just play, like we said earlier, just play more defense grid.
Yeah, I mean, there needs to be like a commander that just gives like affinity to like all your artifacts or something.
I'm pretty sure that exists, but I don't think it's that good.
All right.
Wow, I didn't realize that there's 18 cards that got added onto the list.
Added to the list. Okay, we don't have to go like super in depth, but we should just quickly read through them.
I got the first one. So Teferi's Protection. 3 mana, you stop existing. Totally understand why it's on there.
Yeah, I honestly I agree with this one. Because the game changer list is in the context of mid power decks, right? It's like regular EDH. They're not
bracket 2
it's
and
not
3.
really CDH is not really being considered. Obviously they have CDH players who are helping, figure this stuff out, but it's not the goal isn't to balance CDH. But it's a really, really, really busted card in high level.
Yeah, because like they just stop existing, and it's really hard to get around protection from everything.
I can't think of a white deck, white high level EDH deck that I have that doesn't run Teferi's Protection.
Yeah, the next one is Humility, which turns everything into one weenie.
I love this card so much.
I used to play with Noda. I fucking hate this card so much. This card can go burn in hell.
Humility is sweet. I don't think that there's a deck that really wants it right now.
Shurikai, I guess.
Oh, Shurikai. Yeah, you're right. That's the only deck that wants Humility.
That's literally the only deck.
It's the only deck. I mean, it makes sense. It is literally a game-changing card. Once that hits the board, like some people's decks just like don't work anymore.
Actually, in lower power levels, everyone's deck just stops working.
Just stops working. And if you're like a Shurikai player and you've got no creatures in your deck and you play that, you're like,
actually, hold up. Hot take. I was gonna say hot take. If you're a Shurikai player and you're playing Humidity and you're not playing CDH, you're the problem at the table.
You're just a jerk.
Yeah, you're the pub stomper people on Reddit talk about.
A deck that I want to. I don't know what this would be, but it would be cool. Is if there was a deck that was like some kind of green white or green white and something deck, maybe green white, maybe Naya perhaps, but like a land animator deck that played Humility because of the way that layers work. If you animate the lands, they retain their power and toughness.
Oh man, I thought it would have been Lord Windgrace.
Humility, sick.
Yeah, I'm surprised that isn't an archetype already.
It's got to be. It would need. It's weird though, right? Because you need land animation stuff, but then you're also doing stuff with enchantments because you're running Humility. So you need to you need to have a way to find Humility. So you're probably playing tutors of some sort. So you're either in blue or black, probably.
No, you have Academy Rector. You're fine.
That's true. You have Academy Rector. You have an Enlightened Tutor. There's a bunch of ways to find enchantments in white. That's true. Okay.
Yeah. You want to get the next 3?
So the next 3 after Humility, I'll just go through all 3 of these. Narset Part of Veils, Orcish Bowmasters, and Notion Thief. I think all of these, in my opinion, make sense. Narset and Notion Thief are basically, I don't want to say they're the same card, but
kind of, sort of.
They're doing the same thing, right? They are denying card draw from your opponents.
Yeah, Notion Thief, you get to draw the card instead.
Yeah, and you get to draw the card. So, like, Narset's kind of somewhat difficult to remove because it's Planeswalker. Notion Thief has flash, so it blanks. The thing is, like, Notion Thief is really good against wheels and like big draw, like people drawing big chunks of cards at once, which you don't really see a lot of in casual EDH, right? You don't.
Nah, I'd say one of the most
fortunate in casual. Right?
One of the most popular commanders
that might be playing. They're like wheel tribal, right? Doing stuff like that, and they're trying to be cute. I guess Nekasar decks are doing that stuff, but it's like Nekasar is a weird one too, where it's like okay, it's like too strong for high power, but too weak for CDH.
Yeah, but people still love playing that thing.
If you're playing like wheel tribal, Nekasar can be really frustrating to play against. These cards all punish card draw. Orcish Bowmasters as well. Is Sheoldred on the list?
No, I don't think it is.
So that's actually kind of weird to me that Sheoldred, the Apocalypse, is not on the Game Changer list because it literally does what these cards are doing. It punishes card draw quite heavily. Why is that not on here?
Probably because it's just life gain. It was a life loss and life gain. It's just they don't see it as that powerful. Because Bowmaster, you can choose creatures to ping, and you get a huge body out of it. I mean,
Bowmasters totally makes sense. That card is beyond busted. There's a lot of people were hoping for a Orcish Bowmasters ban.
Yeah, and I always laughed at them. I always I don't think it's good enough to get banned. So Game Changer list. I don't think it's going to
get banned. I mean, I think it's honestly one of the few cards that people are actually still playing that does do some of the board wipe thing that is necessary for the format to not just get completely run over. I think without this card, Tim Thras would just be, and Kinnan would be like the whole meta.
Orcish Bowmaster is a necessary evil.
Unfortunately. Actually, this is one of the cards I was shocked that it wasn't on the Game Changers list when they first launched the list.
Yeah, speaking of which, the next card. So we should actually talk about a card that comes off the list and this one as well. It's Intuition and Gifts
list, but it goes onto the Game Changers list along with this card.
Yeah, it's Intuition and Gifts Ungiven because they're both basically the same exact card.
Sort of. Gifts is the big brother to Intuition. Right?
Yeah, Intuition is 3 mana, get 3 cards. Gifts Ungiven is 4 mana, grab 4 cards.
Yeah, 2 to 4, you get to keep 2 in hand and 2 go to the graveyard. Intuition, we only keep 1 in hand, 2 go to the graveyard. So you're dumping 2 cards no matter what into your graveyard. But putting 2 cards in hand is such a big difference that it enables so many more combo lines versus Intuition. Intuition is very, very specific on for what decks that it's actually good for. But is it just like a really good universal 3 mana instant tutor? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
yes, it is very powerful.
I mean, the Intuition piles are all... You're going to make the wrong choice no matter what happens.
Yeah, I mean, both these cards are, I would say they're broken cards. They're playing unfair magic. Are they like too powerful that they should be banned? No, I don't think so. I think that they're perfectly fine. Because you have to build around them. They really force you. They're not just universal. You can't just stuff them into any blue deck, right? You're not going to do that. Sometimes it's not great, right? Because if you have to know how to use these cards quite well. And if you don't know what you're doing, then you're just picking 3 cards, and you're
lose 2 of them.
Choice, what to give you, and you're like, okay, I guess this is good.
Yeah, the Intuition pile always has to be something where no matter what choice your opponent makes,
they're screwed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why the classic Savine's LED Breach, perfect.
Yep.
Although I did hear of a really good gifts pile, which is Ristic, Mirror Maid, Steel Enchantment, Copy Enchantment.
That is something that we play in Tameshi, us Tameshi pilots. If we get an early Intuition and we don't have combo pieces, we actually do a value Intuition, which usually looks like Ristic, Mystic, Smothering Tithe.
Oh, that's busted.
Because Tameshi can recur enchantments from the graveyard. You recur Smothering Tithe, and then you use that mana to recur the other 2 the next turn. Yeah.
So stupid.
It's pretty powerful, and you get all 3 eventually. But you get all 3 within 2 turns no matter what you do. Yeah, and now with gifts, you're going to be able to do way more fun stuff. Way funnier things. Like, there's so many piles for Tameshi now. I do think Tameshi is, probably the best deck for Gifts Ungiven because of your commander's inherent ability to recur from the graveyard. So it's a 1 mana, get 4 cards. Straight up.
Yeah, that's just so busted. Yeah, because like all the because all the decks that already play Intuition will probably end up playing Gifts for a little bit and then see whether or not it actually fits in there.
Yeah. And there's there are a lot of decks that weren't playing Intuition that will play Gifts because Intuition did not give them a 1-card win con, but Gifts does because it gives them that extra card.
Yeah, so anything Jeskai plus or just blue-white plus is good.
Yeah, Grixis decks can use Gifts for a 1-card win con. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of decks that can do. A lot of the decks want black because you're doing. If you're trying to do broken things with creatures, you generally want reanimate. So if you're like in like blue, black, green, you get like reanimate, Ewit, and then some other number of things. Right, Devoted Druid.
Oh yeah. Never mind. I just thought that. Actually, no, because I guess if someone gives you,
I mean, if you show
someone Broodlord
to Hazel's Devoted Druid, reanimate, and Ewit, you win.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's like a bunch of different variations on that too. There's probably like 6 or 7 piles just for that deck alone.
If you're still watching this, just put down your favorite Intuition pile in the comment section.
Let us know. Let us know your spiciest Gifts Ungiven piles.
Yeah, I think the spiciest one is I don't have any other cards in my deck. I only have these 2.
Like I want to see what people's like. What do you do if you're not going for it? Like, what does like a value pile look like? Or like if you're fighting on this, like one of the things that we do in Tameshi a lot, and this is probably the way I get Intuition to resolve the most, is that someone's putting up a win, and you're sandbagging your interaction, but you have an Intuition hand. You say, I can't answer this right now, but I can find an answer if you let the spell resolve. And they go, all right, fine, because they know you have a tutor. You're like, cool. So you're like, Intuition on the stack. And you're like, look, I promise that I will find Mindbreak Trap. And they're like, all right. Sure, it resolves. And then, you find Mindbreak Trap. And then you find Artificer's Intuition. And you find Lotus Blue. And you win the game.
So busted. Speaking of winning the game, the next card on the list is Consecrated Sphinx.
Another card that I'm shocked was not already on Gamechanger.
The initial one, yeah. Yeah, I think it's just that now they're looking really heavily at like big draw engines and like big advantage engines. And just the fact that it's a giant 6/6 flyer that,
4/6
kind of
6 button flying for 6 mana.
Yeah,
it's like already like it's like okay, if it was just a 4/6 flyer for 6 mana, it would be not good, but not the worst card. It's like it's like
you'd play it limited.
Better than Vizardrix.
Yeah, but the fact that whenever anyone draws a card, you draw
2. And it's not even like it's not even like after their first card they draw. It's even on their draw for turn, you get to draw.
According to the article, just untapping with it, you get 6 extra cards for nothing.
You never let this card resolve. You never let it resolve, or you can never let them pass the turn with that in play. Never, because the moment you do, you lose. You've lost. I see people playing it even in like Tivit and like grindy blue decks. Hashatan, I think, plays it.
Hashbrand just like poops it out for free. So So the next one is Necropotence, which I'm also kind of surprised it wasn't on the initial list.
Another one I'm shocked was not already on there. I think a lot of people were shocked that this wasn't on there. People were like, Necro P is not on this list. This is craziness.
Yeah, it's just 3 mana draw. Was it like a third of your deck?
Draw your life worth of your deck.
Not much to really say about that, yeah. Deflecting SWAT also probably should have been on the list at first.
Another one that's like, why wasn't this already on there?
It's like they already said Force of Will should be on here. Oh, yeah. I get, you know what? They did say, was a Fierce Guardianship shouldn't be on the list? Or was it going to be on the list?
No, Fierce is definitely on the list.
Oh, yeah. If Fierce is on the list, then SWAT should be on the list too. It's just another counter spell.
It's insane that it wasn't already on there. It's not even worse than Fierce. It's just different and good.
Yeah. If anything, like, it's slightly better because...
It's SWAT abilities. I mean, swatting target abilities is, like, pretty busted for free. Yeah. The next 3. Totally. So these are a little interesting. I agree with one of them, and I don't really agree with the other 2. Gamble.
All right,
so Gamble, Crop Rotation, and Worldly Tutor. So all tutors.
It's to finish the cycle.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense. They're just like completing everything. The 1 mana tutors. I suppose that makes sense in that context.
Yeah.
But
so
crop rot is significantly weaker than these other
Yeah, so I actually am gonna link a video to my friend Keeping It Casual down in this just in the description where he goes through the same exact thing where he's like, "Why the hell is crop rot on the game changer list?" And then he says that he was talking to some other people, and then he's just talking himself through it, and he was like, "No, you crop rot to grab whatever the best land is at that moment."
Yeah, it is true, and
it's just so hard to interact with.
And the thing is that then this is why I can see it. It's because we haven't even reached like the azimuth of busted lands, right? We have a lot of really busted lands, but they keep printing busteder lands.
Yeah, like one of the examples that I saw was this like Bajuka Bog. I'm like, instant speed Bajuka Bog stick.
Yeah. Flicker. If you want to do that, play Flickertron to 60 card. You can literally do that. It's sweet every time. But what's that land that they just printed? That's like if you have like an island and like a forest, it comes into play untapped, and you can like tap it for a blue, and you can like counter something. The next spell that you play is uncounterable. Mistrise.
Oh, yeah, Mistrise Village, yeah.
You can crop rot for Mistrise Village on the stack.
Yeah, I don't think I want to pay 3 mana to make something uncounterable like that.
But it's there if you're in green, you probably don't care about how much mana you have. That's not bad.
Yeah, because that was the other big thing, because technically, if this is on the Game Changer list and the other super busted lands are on the Game Changer list, it just eats into your like amount of cards you have. Also, it's the only common card in the Game Changer list. Another really cool card is Seaborn Muse.
Yeah.
I'm surprised this was not on there. The first
total
place
sense. I'm like, okay, like this is like stupidly powerful card.
It's like Panharmonicon. Yeah,
completely unsurprising. And you know what? Like out of all the cards so far, this is a card that I think I've seen. Like I see a lot of. First of all, a lot of people play green in high power, and in just regular EDH, I think green is probably the most beloved color because it lets you do more things faster. Right? You can ramp up. People love playing big Timmy shit. A lot of people play Seaborn Muse. Like the card's not even that expensive. You know, there's no.
Yeah, thank God for all the reprints.
To get into it, and it just straight up wins games. I think this card is a bit of a feel bad card in a lot of casual games because the moment someone plays it, you either answer it or you just die.
Yeah, again, and like a big problem too is it just eats into so much time because you also have to go. Hold up, I have to untap too.
Yeah, and if they're doing things that if they're playing a deck that has lots of like twiddly interactions that they're doing at other people's turns.
Yeah, it gets super annoying. Again, that's why was it Prophet Kufrix was banned in Paradox Engine. Was it this next card I don't agree with being on here? Natural Order.
That's
it's kind of like
a strange one to put on here. It's like okay, if you have natural order, then wouldn't you put on like all the other really ridiculous green creature tutors? Like it's like
technically no, because
is Green Sun Zenith on here?
No, because technically Natural Order is the best one, even though it's not.
Is it? It's not.
No. So here's the thing:
like Green Sun Zenith is a better card than Natural Order.
So, like I said, here's the thing: the Green Sun and Natural Order only get green. Especially Natural Order is green for green.
That's true. They only get green.
That's why I said technically it is better because it's only 4 mana and you can get whatever you want. But the green for green thing makes it so much worse compared to Finale of Devastation.
Is Finale on the list?
I don't think it is.
What? That is bonkers, and that Finale of Devastation is not on that list. That card single-handedly wins games.
Yeah. Do you know what else also wins games? The next Game Changer food chain. Food
chain does win games.
Yeah, I'm totally okay with this being on there. They're like, yeah, you're playing the food chain deck, you should be winning, especially in lower power levels. But what's super messed up is the next card counters food chain with his aura shards. But I also understand why aura shards is on here, because in like lower power levels and I have aura shards on board or the aura shard sliver, I'm also totally winning that game because I'm in full control.
I remember playing the dragon that has affinity.
It's like a million dragons now.
Chiscoria.
Oh, okay.
I was playing a Chiscoria deck. This was like a year ago against this one dude who comes to. It's not an LGS, but we meet up at a brewery locally, like a mile away from my house, and play like mostly like high powered stuff. This dude busts out both. He's playing first sliver. he busts out Aura Shards and the Aura Shard Sliver against my. It only has artifact. It's one creature, which is just great, and it's only artifacts. And I'm like,
oh, you bastard! All right, cool. We're just not gonna.
So I guess I'm just gonna do nothing. And then he's like, well, sucks, bro.
Yeah, I get
it. I played it out. I didn't just instant scoop. I'm not going to do that. But like, it's safe to say that we lost pretty hard because I'm like, I'm out of this game. I can't help you. Like, I'm not prisoning this guy or stacking him on any of this stuff. You guys run down.
Yeah, so again, Aura Shards, I totally understand why it's on here. Like, if this card resolves and you start pumping out creatures, you should be winning. Yeah,
it's unreal. It's crazy.
Unless if no one plays like artifacts or enchantments, and then like, well, okay, that's super low power.
It's crazy powerful. This is a card actually that I feel like should get played more in CDH, especially if you have ways to either blank your creatures or instant speed generate creatures. This card is insane and should absolutely be played in those decks if you're not already.
Yeah, it's only 3 mana. It's like, not that expensive.
Enchantment and artifact hate is at an all-time high right now, to the point where like myself and a lot of other Tameshi players were playing Seal of Removal in the main deck.
Crazy.
Yeah, Seal of Removal. All right, next one. I'll get it. Field of the Dead.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna get it. Sorry.
Okay. Field of the Dead. This is an interesting one, right? It's not like just universally powerful. It's only powerful in a zombie deck.
No, it's just powerful in general. It just makes more zombies.
In general. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, but remember, low power people love landfall. That and like when you pair it up with like Scoot Swarm, then it does become a problem.
Really like the thing about this card that makes it broken. It's not having like a bunch of 2/2 zombies. Like no one gives a shit. But it's like all the synergies that the deck would have with those zombies. Like you can do busted things.
Yeah, this thing about everyone you've talked to in the last 8 months about how happy they are about their Necrobloom deck, and then apply Necrobloom to this card.
Yeah, I still feel weird about this being on the Game Changers list. In a vacuum, I think it's like mid. It's just like it needs all these other cards and things happening to go right for it to be like really, really good.
What are you talking about? Like if I pop a fetch land, I get 2 zombies.
Yeah, but like so.
That's apparently good enough.
I guess. If you're in like Golgari, like this card is nutso because you're like fetching lands left and right. So I suppose, and you're doing like sacrifice things. But once again, you need all these other cards to make it good. So all right.
Yeah. And then finally, the last card on the list.
Yeah, Mishra's Workshop.
I like that they said, though not highly played due to its difficulty to acquire, a land that taps for 3 for artifacts is definitely meets some of the restrictions that we put around fast mana.
Legacy staple. I mean, not legacy, vintage staple. Very good card. Do we care?
No, they said it themselves. It's like, we have Ancient Tomb banned. Why is this thing not banned?
Seems strictly better. We have City Traders, strictly better.
Also not on the Game Changer list.
Also not on the list. Is Ancient Tomb even on this list?
Ancient Tomb is.
Oh, it is, but City Traders is not.
Yeah, because it sacrifices itself, so it has a restriction.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, the decks that are playing that, they're either using that to their advantage or they're doing like busted stuff like flickering the lands. Yeah, and they did mention a bunch of cards that are not on the list. That
they're looking at, yeah.
They're looking at. Or looking at taking off of the list. I mean,
like going through here, they're saying, "Oh, we might take off Force of Will." I'm like, all right. It's weird to say that Force of Will is not that crazy of a card anymore.
Honestly, I think it's not. And here's another thing that I don't know if it's a hot take or not, but like I've seen a lot of people taking Force of Will and Force Negation out of their CDH decks.
Yeah, I've taken Force of Negation out for like over a year because again, the restriction of it only activates during my opponent's turn is why that card sucks. I can't use it when it matters, which is me trying to win.
Once again, it's like a control card. Control's bad right now. And even Force of Will, it's just like asking like a little too much for it to defend your win when like
I feel like 80% of the time that you're pitching a card is another counterspell.
Yeah, totally. Like you would rather just have your cards in hand. You'd probably rather play Defense Grid.
That was back to what we're saying.
It's funny because like I think this actually scales really well even into casual because like it's not even that good in casual. You're still 2 for 1ing yourself, and if you're in casual, like the threats aren't that. I mean, yeah, there's some really busted crazy stuff in like the later turns, but you're probably not countering something that's that impactful. Like, no one's going for like a turn 4 win, so like go ahead and 2 for it yourself. Like it doesn't even matter. Yeah, I would actually be okay if they took that off the list.
Yeah, although scrolling down a little bit further, they actually are talking about Green Sun, Cord, and Finale, as well as Tooth and Nail and Defense of the Heart. So all of the green tutors we were just talking about. They strictly just said we want to hit Natural Order because its ability to tutor for anything for 4 mana directly onto the battlefield. These tutors find something, but not nearly as efficient as a rate. And a few tutors restriction, I will ideally keep the lower brackets from filling their decks with these. So again, it's what I said earlier. In their eyes, Natural Order is the most efficient.
Yeah. Cord
but is it really?
And Green Sun are all, in my opinion, significantly better cards.
Yeah, but like Natural Order, I can go sack Llanowar Elf. Here's Creator Hoof Behemoth. Good game.
I mean, you do that with Finale.
No, Finale, you need to pay like 1 million mana into.
That's true.
But you're also playing green, so you just generate 1 million mana.
Yeah. I mean, like, it doesn't matter. I mean, all the decks that I play these cards in, I'm making 1 billion mana.
So, with that, let's get into the 5 cards that got unbanned.
Yes, finally. We already talked about one of them. We talked about gifts, right?
Yeah, so we don't have to talk about gifts. Gifts is just like intuition, but slightly better and slightly worse.
Ready just for the occasion.
Yep, I have mine downstairs. By the way, the only good gifts you should be playing is that borderless one and the OG Kamigawa Ward. If I see 2 Jaces, I'll just be... I'll judge you profoundly harsh.
Shit.
I don't like that art. I don't.
It's not good. I mean, it's funny in that it's like real goofy.
Yeah, but I'd rather have...
It's meme worthy.
It's not that great, but...
If this show's thumbnail isn't Jace holding something real funny, I will be very upset, Franklin. Let's go. Let's move on from gifts. We talked about gifts. Sway of the Stars.
I like it. I like their description of we unbanned Worldfire and nothing bad happened, so we're just going to do the same thing again.
This card is actively terrible. It's funny. I was thinking about like, oh yeah, what cards that were like on. This is like I thought I had for an episode like a few months ago. What cards that are on the ban list that wouldn't even see play in Pauper or PDH, and this was one of them.
Yeah,
I don't think this card would see play in PDH.
It's 8 mana,
10 mana.
Oh yeah, no, bro, it's a 10 mana. It could say win the game for 10 mana, and we have a card that literally just came off the ban list that says 8 mana win the game.
I want like a rat race style bet, like a wager or something. I want Wizards to be like, I don't know who would be responsible for this, but like put a bunch of money that, a 10 mana card that literally says you win the game doesn't even see play.
It doesn't have any other text, just straight up 10 mana win the game, which we already have that. And let's talk about Coalition Victory.
Yes, now that we're on the topic. I'm like a big fan. I was always a big fan of this card. I own a bunch of them, and I've owned a bunch of them for a long time. We talked about Pre-Modern in the pre-show. This is a card that is from that era, and I own a few of them that I cracked from packs back in the Invasion series. Never played them in any deck, and it was banned basically too soon before like I got into Commander to even play in Commander. So I'm like pretty happy about this one. So I'm like,
yeah, because
okay, this is the one place this card actually sees play, maybe.
Yeah, I have to go check the Commander website, but I'm pretty sure it's one of those cards that got banned at the very beginning because it was I think 2008, 2004, and they're like
before I started playing the game. In a 5-color deck with a 5-color Commander, as soon as you play, you win.
Yeah, it was banned March of 2007. So
funny enough, if you played it in Golos and your only creature out was Golos, you still don't win the game.
No, because Golos has no colors.
Pretty funny, or Sisay for that matter. Also funny because Sisay's actually on the card. But Sisay does not win you the game if Sisay's out with this card.
No, that's the one thing that I always have to fight with casual players about. That Commander just kind of ruins their like idea of color identity because color identity only exists in Commander.
Yeah, they're like, Sisay's a 5-color card. No,
like what's Sisay's casting cost? White. She's a white card.
Yeah. I mean, what are good 5-color decks that have 5 colors in the actual Commander? I guess like Ur Dragon stuff, but no one actually plays the Ur Dragon.
Yeah, no one plays Ur Dragon. Fucking Austin Cobb. Fuck you in Simstream, bro.
No one actually plays it from the command zone. I mean, it's like I think it's the most. It's like the number 2,
you know what?
number 3 most popular commander in EDH. Like no,
I think Coalition Victory is only ever.
No one actually casts the Ur Dragon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
It's probably not good there. I'm trying to think of like what's a 5-color deck that sees play that has a commander with actually a 5-color like CMC.
Yeah, Tiamat. That's 5-color dragon.
And there's better 1-card win cons in that deck. Maybe that Scarecrow, Reaper King.
Sure.
Make Reaper King good again.
I don't think it ever was, but sure.
That card is sweet. The artwork, if you haven't seen it, is incredible.
All right. Well, speaking of ancient cards, Braid's Cabal Minion.
Another, not a pre-modern standard, but like a card from that time.
I think the current Braid's Nightmare Reborn is probably a lot worse. Like, a lot worse to deal with than Braid's Cabal Minion.
I think the other Braids is just strictly better.
Yeah. That's so much worse than just sacrificing something, because I would just sacrifice a land all the time. It's like, all right, cool, here's a Braids. I can play around it.
Yeah. I mean,
the other one's like, do I really want to give them a card?
There's so many token strategies now, too, and if you're not making creature tokens, you're probably making some kind of artifact token, whether it's treasures or clues or something, or foods or whatever. This card punishes very, very specific kinds of decks, right? It's punishing, like, Spellslinger Izzet decks.
Hold on, when does a sacrifice happen? At the beginning of each player's upkeep.
And it's not even like at the beginning of each player's upkeep, each player sacrifices an artifact. It's just that player sacrifices. If it was like at the beginning of each player's upkeep, each player sacrifices something, that would be something. That would be brutal.
Although I'm pretty sure that whoever plays Mana Vault is super happy. Like, cool, I don't have to take one anymore. Cool, yeah, then finally, Panoptic Mirror.
Cool. Another card that won't see play. I didn't know about this card because like I wasn't playing at the time that like Darksteel was, it was circulating, but like I read through it during the announcement. I was like, this was on the ban list.
It got banned in 2005, so it's one of the OGs to get banned.
It's unbelievably bad. I was like, oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, but you have to consider how everything was back then. Spells. Yeah, you have to pay 5 mana for it, and then you have to pay however much just to do it again, and then you have to untap with it. In like just how things are now. Our Shards is on the game changer list, so they literally told you, hey, if you see Panoptic Mirror, get your Shards ready.
I mean, like it's pretty ridiculous. I mean, you can even like bounce this in response to someone imprinting, and they just exile their card.
They just lose it forever.
It's really funny. It's like, okay.
You're like, hey, do you like this fish that I just gave someone else?
Get Chain of Vapor. Flood. Yeah. Get Flood Mod.
I don't see the same play anywhere.
Probably sees play and like high-powered things that are already using like Dramrev and Scepter stuff.
Yeah, and then that's just worse.
I mean, yeah, it's just like the way worse version of Scepter.
Yeah, like I said, I think the only way to really do anything with it is just extra turn spells, but I don't even think it's that good.
Yep. Enjoy your like 10 mana win con, but what's what we said earlier, right? If you had a card that said it was 10 mana, it says win the game, it wouldn't even see play. It's still bad.
Yeah, that's pretty much where we're at.
Don't care. Yeah. If Panoptic Mirror, here's going back to what I was saying before. If Panoptic Mirror was in 60 card or in PDH, would you think it sees play?
Well, what spell is there to recur? like, all right, cool. I'll put a High Tide on it. If I didn't win the first time, yeah, that's it. Like, it's literally just for High Tide. The spell gets cast at the beginning of your upkeep, so even if you go High Tide,
that's not even
good. Exactly. So you have to improve. You have to play it.
High Tide's fine because it lasts for the rest of your turn.
Yeah, but what you would have to do is play the mirror right before it gets to your turn. You imprint the High Tide, and then pray to God you get to tap with it.
You only get one. You only just get the one copy, right? So like,
yeah, it's garbage.
I'm trying to think of like what spell is there in Pauper that is actually worth recurring like this. That's so good.
I got nothing.
I'm trying to think of like high CMC things that are maybe busted.
No, because all the good cards are
probably
3 CMCs.
Maybe like Maybe like Mystical Tutor or like maybe Merchant Scroll. Merchant Scroll kind of not good. Mystical Tutor way better.
You mean Mystical Teachings?
Mystical Teachings. That's what I meant. Mystical Teachings. Yeah.
Yeah. Nah. Even then, I don't think it's worth it. All right. I think we're done for today. All right, Ron. What you asked me what card I would unban. So what card would you unban?
Would I unban?
Or yeah, what card would you unban, and what card did you want banned?
Well, the card I want banned is definitely a Heuristic Study for sure. But if that's not a spicy enough take, that's fine. If you think it's not, I respect that because I feel like everyone and their mother wants to ban Heuristic Study. The card that I would ban is maybe not ban, but the card I would put on the Game Changer list for sure is Sol Ring.
Oh, too bad. You can't put it on there.
I know.
It literally has plot armor.
My campaign against Sol Ring still is it's still talking to a brick wall. It's going nowhere.
Yep.
Yeah, it's too bad. Sol Ring haters rise up.
I think the only card I would want unbanned, because I know they talked about Jewel Lotus. Jewel Lotus will probably get unbanned sometime next year, so that's not even a problem. Playing Fast Bond would be cool, but I don't want other people playing Fast Bond against me, so screw that. Yeah,
no, there's like a bunch of cards that I really want unbanned. Actually,
yeah, like Biorhythm's probably going to get unbanned next year for sure.
Fine, honestly, I think that would be great. I think Fellows seems fine.
Yeah, just throw on the Game Changer list like they will do normally, so it's totally fine.
We literally have a worse version already. I mean, a better version with Cradle. We literally have the better Revellos. So, I mean, I guess it's like Cradle in the command zone. But like, we already have we literally have commanders who can fetch lands. So,
I think we just unban Mox Ruby, and only Mox Ruby.
Gross.
Not any of the other ones. Just Mox Ruby.
Gross. Sundering Titan and Primeval Titan, the two Titans, I think both. I'm
Prime Time can definitely come up.
Surprised that they did not get unbanned.
If they do get it unbanned, it's definitely going to go on the Game Changer list, and then it gets banned out of Bracket 1 and 2 because of no mass land destruction.
So exactly. So I think it's totally fine. There are no two lands that immediately just win you the game.
Yeah, and even if you grab Gaia's Cradle, that's already 2 of your 3 Game Changers. So
it's like you need other stuff still to win the game, and there's other cards on here that do just win the game. So, oh yeah, also Recurring Nightmare. It's a card that I would like to see come back.
They should just unban it for 24 hours.
It's a cool card. I mean, like their problem is that like the ability that it has, where it can return back to the owner's hand as part of the activation cost is pretty wonky. Like, feels like not right. It feels like one that's really powerful because the return back to hand then is not.
Oh, you know what? But you can only activate it as a sorcery, so there's still pretty good. There's a really wide window to interact with it.
Yeah.
I was about to say, it's like, no, never mind. I just realized at no point can your opponent interact with it because once it resolves, no one has priority. You activate it,
it just does the thing. At least goes back to the hand. So, but the creature, like the ability goes on the stack and you can stifle it. But it's happening no matter what. I think all it needs is a slight tweak. It just needs an errata that says that
this is Magic. We don't errata stuff like that.
Yeah, right.
This ain't Yu-Gi-Oh.
It's just move the colon from after hand to after the word creature, and you are set. That's literally it.
Yeah.
Sacrifice a creature, colon, return recurring numbers to owner's hand, and put target creature card from your graveyard into play. Play this ability as a sorcery. It would be totally fair.
I still like the fixed version back when we had Dockside.
Yeah, it's fixed because then you can sacrifice the creature, and then you can destroy the enchantment in response, and you're fine.
With that, I think we're good for today. Thank you, everyone, for watching. If you made it this far, congratulations, you're a real one. So subscribe to us over on YouTube. Follow us over on Spotify. We're on Blue Sky, TikTok, Twitter. Again, wish Gator well with his vampirism, because unfortunately tonight's probably a very terrible night to have a curse.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he got another callback as well. There's a new Twilight movie. He may play the understudy, for Jacob.
That's the werewolf.
Shit.
You had a 50-50 chance and you still...
Well, I guess you better shave off all that body hair.
Oh my god. Actually, all right, so here's the last thing we're going to actually end off in. If you haven't seen the end of Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2, go do that. skip the entire movie, wait until the good vampire faction walks into the open Alaskan field with the Italian vampire faction. Just start watching the movie from there. You don't need any other context. Just watch the movie from there. Best theater experience of my life.
Mob movie?
No, it's an X-Men fight. No, it ends up being a superhero fight of like superpowered vampires. Like I said, it's the best, funniest scene ever.
It's like it's like so bad that it's good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe I'll watch it.
Watch it. It's the funniest thing. It's so ridiculous.
Okay, I'm sold.
Yeah, like if you watch Street Fighter the movie, watch that. It's the same.
Love that movie.
Same amount of stupid campiness.
Yeah.
I don't think in Twilight we ever get performance that's that over the. Never mind. I take it back. When you go watch it and you see Michael Sheen, I'm pretty sure it's Michael Sheen. Michael Sheen as a head Italian vampire sees the accelerated aged baby from Kirsten Dunst, whatever her name is. From Bella, yeah. Whenever you see the rapidly aged baby and you hear his reaction, it's so campy, so stupid.
Okay. All right, sold. I guess that's what I'm doing this weekend.
No, it takes like all of 20 minutes. Like, no, it only takes like 10 minutes. Like I said, wait until the two vampire factions start fighting, and then it's great.
Okay. All right. You heard it here,
bye,
folks.
Yep, take care, everyone. Bye.
See ya.
Thank you for watching. And if you want to support the channel, please subscribe and join the Discord in our link below. And become a member over on our Patreon.
Shout out to all of our patrons: Eric, Cobraman, Aaron, Dax, Devin, NYC Burrito, Little Rat Lotad, Frank, Scoob, HZ, and Too Much Do. Thank you for all of your support.